Hello, my name is Nathaniel Lawrence Masar, and I'm going to give you an overview of the book of Robert Greene, that is Managerial Economics. And from the first chapters of Managerial Economics, that would be it's only about building the foundations of the students. Well, it talks about what is a manager. A manager is the one who directs resources to realize a certain goal or a particular goal or even company's goal. Economics. What is economics? Economics is making decisions, making decisions with scarcity. So you're making decisions based on whatever you have. So whatever resources you have. That's that's really the explanation. So if we combine this together, the what is managerial economics? So this is just combinations of the two explanations, the two meanings of the two explanations. That is using scarce resources to achieve the goal of the company, firm, or the business you're dealing with, or the business you're employed with. Okay, so the main goal of this is to make profits. That's really what it is, the goal. So, what is profits? There are two types of profits from the book. It states here is accounting profit. This is total revenue minus dollar cost of production. And the second is economic profit. That is total revenue minus cost of production minus implication. Uh, there are computations here, but I'm not going to state all the computations because this is just an overview. You can check out the book by Robert Reed, that is managerial accounting. Managerial economics. Okay, what is free competition? So free competition is, well, you cannot bar anything. You cannot bar any person to make a business. You cannot bar any person to be employed to that business. You cannot force a person. Uh, just yeah, free competition. So here in free competition, that is, there are types here. That is Adam Smith and self-interest, which is what I told you. This is, you cannot force anyone to work for you. You cannot force anyone to do anything of you cannot force anyone to do certain job efficiently. You cannot force anyone to do the certain job faster, because if that certain person or an employed person is already employed, you cannot force him to do better unless he has motivations to do better. That is what here Adam Smith and self-interest. Yeah, and here is the second one is incentives. So, in order to give motivation to employees to do a certain job, you need incentives, because for an employee to do better at job, to be competitive at this job, he needs the self-interest of the company and the self-interest of the employee must be aligned. And yeah, that's it. And there's also here that is time value of money, which is that is a dollar today is better than a dollar tomorrow. The explanation here is because, for example, if you have a dollar today, the that dollar today you can, or anything, peso or 100 pesos. Okay, well, you have 100 pesos today. That 100 pesos today, you can buy something. You can buy a snack, you can buy Jollibee, you can buy McDonald's to fill your stomach, you can buy something to, or you can play it, play something, rent a computer game. like that, because it has value to you right now. While as a dollar or money particular from tomorrow, for example, your friend has borrowed from you $1. So that $1, and he promised to you that he will pay tomorrow. That $1 has no value. A dollar is still a dollar. Money still has value. But that dollar you lend to him or her has no value to you today, because you cannot buy that dollar today. You're going to wait for that dollar to be returned to you. That is time value of money. Okay, now we're going to the supply and demand. So here, the let's go first to law of demand. So the law of demand states that if price goes up, the quantity of the demand goes down. If the price goes down, the quantity demand goes up. So that's really the basics of the basics. And now we're going here, but those basics is really what I have said. It's just really basic. That cannot really affect I mean, the price that does not entirely or only affect the demand of that product you produce or the product that was being sold or sell, which is there are factors besides price. There are factors like income, availability, other goods, or same products to you. Now, we're going to proceed next to the law of supply. Now, the law of supply states here, as the price goes up, the quantity supply goes up also. As the price goes down, the quantity supply goes down also. That's it. Yeah, that's it. And let's go back. Now, let's proceed. Not go back, let's proceed. Market equilibrium. This is where finding the right price and finding the right what do you call this? Finding the right quantity supply and the quantity demand of the product, because you will break bank if you don't make market equilibrium, because if the price is so high, customers won't buy, you will be broke. Easy. Okay, let's proceed now. Uh, Here, the the next one is price ceiling. This is the government indicating that there is this is or the government is barring you what do you call this, not letting you get the not letting you the price goes up on a particular point of money. Is that correct? No, no. I'll just read it. The highest price at which a product can be sold now, and may not be binding. This creates shortage, and this creates a dead weight loss. Next one is price floor. The same, the government induce a price floor to help producers to not be scammed, or to not be scammed of be of letting those producers sell their products at a lower price. So here's the descriptions. The lower price at which a product can be sold may not be binding, creates a surplus, and creates a dead weight of loss. Next is elasticity. This is how changes in one variable affect another variable. So the changes in advertisement affects the sales. Simple. Now, and next is budget constraint. Constraint is restricts consumers' choices to producers, competition, consumer satisfaction, and people always want more. Okay. Next, the next one is production. There are two types of there are types of production here. That is, first of all, there are types of inputs and there are types of costs. You will read that on Robert Reed's book, so not going to expound on it, because on the cost and the types of cost here, there's a variable cost, fixed cost, and sunk cost. So it's all in the book. Here there is a short run versus long run. On a short run, at least one is fixed. On the long run, all factors are variable. You can see that on the book also. ISO cost, inputs that cost the same. For example, hire 100 workers or buy 10 new machines. Uh, that's basically it. And isoquant, this is different inputs but the same output. Minimizing costs, finding the equilibrium from isocosts and isoquants. Okay. Moving forward, that here is perfect, perfectly competitive market. This is where many buyer and seller. There are many buyers and sellers. Identical products on the market. Perfect information. No transaction cost. There's free entry and free exit. So the meaning here is there are many buyers and sellers. For example, there are many buyers of cell phone, touchscreen to be precise. And there are many sellers, for example, Apple, uh, Android products like Samsung, Lenovo, etc., etc. And this is the same from identical products, uh, the same cell phones, the same perfect information. They give up perfect information of that product, no transaction cost. And so if a market here is very profitable, many competitors is free to enter that market. If they want to, for example, Microsoft is not currently not in the phone flat screen phone game, uh, touch screen phone game, because they have a multi-million deal on the Windows product. But they can choose to enter that because market here is very profitable. So, and if market is not really profitable, then Microsoft can freely exit, or not entirely join that market. Next is monopoly. Monopoly is a single firm with no close substitutes. For example, a grocery store that has no competition on that town. For example, from here where I stay, currently stay here at Tag-Ayan, San Isidro, Barangay San Isidro, Mainit, Surigao del Norte. The very closest grocery store here that gives out best retail products uh, is Matinaw. So, rather than going to Magpayang, Magpayang is what? 20 minute ride, while as going to Matinao is only a 3 to 5 minute ride. So Matinao there, a grocery store at Matinao is really, they're having a monopoly there. Electric water company, that's monopoly. Sornico, for example, here at Caraga, Meralco, they're at NCR. Mm, grocery. Yeah. So a monopolistic competition has many buyers and sellers, product different, branding. Oh, yeah. So a monopolistic competition here has many buyers and sellers, and there is also product different and branding. There is a niche market, and there is free entry and exit. So in the long run, free entry is if the if the market is good, economic profits, there are positive economic profits, market will enter. If not, they exit. Next is oligopoly. Oligopoly is relatively a few firms on that particular place. Mostly, not fewer than two, but not but not higher than 10. And identical. It's the same from monopolistic competitive, but there are different types of oligopoly. That is Sweezy. Sweezy oligopoly is that it has few firms. Rivals match price cuts, but not price rises. Uh, Stuckelberg, Stuckelberg, yeah. Stuckelberg oligopoly is leader chooses output, and which is that results higher profit, and follower takes leader output but has lower profits. Bertrand oligopoly is identical products at constant ME, price competition, and react to rival, perfect information. And next is Cornot. Cornot. I can't pronounce this. Kernot. I'm sorry for butchering the pronunciation. Here is oligopoly is different, differential, or homogeneous, and believes rivals hold output constant. Okay. Next is price discrimination. Price discrimination here, it stays here, charge charging customers in their charging customers in their willingness to pay. So if a customer is willing to buy that product, for example, a customer is willing to buy uh, snacks, let's say food that cost, he's willing to buy food that will cost $5. Scratch that, $10. That is 500 pesos. And when he go to a certain restaurant, orders food, and he already ate the food, took out to call the waiter and call for his bill. The bill totaled to 400 pesos, which is A plus for the customers because they save, but the company, uh, the restaurant, didn't achieve the maximum willingness to pay of the customer, because surplus for the customer because he saves 100 pesos, but the restaurant loss on uh, loss on a loss on profit because of one lost profit of 100 pesos, because that is the willingness to pay of customer. But it's on that topic that is really hard and very theoretical. So that is it. There is a market structure here, which is a merger. There is there are different types of merger: vertical integration merger, horizontal integration merger, and conglomerate merger. You can find this at Robert Greene's book. And the topic on last topics on last topic on Robert Greene's book is compensation and incentives. I already explained at the first minutes of this video what is compensation incentives. That is giving a certain employee the motivation to work better for that company, because you cannot force an employee to do better at his job. He for all we know that after he does his certain quota of work, he will just slack off. But he will not slack off to the point he will get fired, but to only the he will slack off because he already done his quota, but he still has to ha, hours to be there at work. It's the same because, for example, 8 hours of work, I pay him what, $10? No. For example, I pay him for 8 hours of work. I pay him 500 pesos or $10 for 8 hours. What if he already finished the job at 6 hours? So there is 2 hours lacking of job. But there's a 2 hours of lacking. He can just slack off of there. He can do anything as long as he's on the clock. So what we give here is a motivation to work harder, to work better, and to, yeah, that is work hard, work better. That is where compensation and incentives goes in. Compensation, for example, there is overwork, the company will give you overwork pay. Incentives, for example, if you reach a certain quota of customers you are serving, plus you exceed another quota, there is exceed another numbers of customers you observe for that certain day, there is an incentive there, a bonus pay, like that, etc. As long as this is where employees' self-interest is aligned with the company's self-interest, which is profit for the company. In turn, the employees get a bonus pay. That's all. Thank you for listening. That's all from the book of Robert Greene. I'm again Nathaniel Lawrence Musar. Thank you for listening.